Hi, I'm Tim Williams at Dwyer Williams Potter Injury Accident Attorneys. I'm the lead litigation attorney for our firm. You know, it's not uncommon for me to talk with a client when they come into my office and have them tell me that they've been diagnosed with arthritis of the knee, and that they had talked to the insurance company. The insurance company said, well, if you have arthritis, we're not going to pay for it, even though they didn't have any symptoms before, and now they're having all this pain because of the accident. So the first thing I need to explain to them is what is osteoarthritis and how does it play a role into the claim. Let's look at the model. Here we have a model of the right knee. This is the outside of the knee, the inside of the knee, the shin bone, the thigh bone, and then your kneecap right here. So if you look at the side, when you walk, your knee bends like this. What happens when we get older is most of us will develop arthritis in some fashion or another within the knees. All arthritis means is that the connective tissue and the gliding tissues inside the knee itself become inflamed, they become partially worn out. You may get some bone spurring occurring, and that sets you up for injury. Now, not everybody who has arthritis will ever develop a symptom, but if you have underlying arthritis, so let's say you have some bone spurs and some thinning of the gliding material that's here inside the knee, and then someone hits you from the front, okay, it puts pressure on your kneecap, which puts pressure on all those little bone spurs, and then the soft or the thinning portion of your knee, that can cause injury. It can cause your arthritis to become worse. It can cause a quickening of the degenerative process, or in other words, it wears out more quickly. It can cause, because if you think about it, the bone spurs are actually rough like sandpaper, and so it can cause pain because when the sandpaper hits the smooth surface, it'll rough it up. And so that is essentially how osteoarthritis makes one more susceptible to injury when they're hit. Now, maybe an 18-year-old who doesn't have that condition would have been fine, but the fact of the matter is that Oregon protects people with this situation with arthritis. Now, insurance companies love to take the position that, hey, if the lady had arthritis before, why should we have to pay to fix it? Well, in Oregon, it's the symptoms that are really looked at. It's the symptoms that are important. So, if someone has arthritis, but they don't have any symptoms before the accident, they're hit from the front, let's say a car crash, and their knee hits the dash, and now they have symptoms from the arthritis, the insurance company is still liable for that because it's the symptoms that were brought about by the crash, even though the underlying arthritis was already there. It's like a person who has osteoporosis. If they break their leg where someone else without osteoporosis wouldn't have broken their leg, the insurance company is still responsible for the broken leg. So if a person has osteoarthritis, it's now symptomatic. The doctors may go in there and try to clean it up. They may debride it or shave out some of the bone spurs if they're larger. They could give you medication, which they probably would, try to control the pain, control some of the swelling, and ultimately, if it's bad enough, they could do a total knee replacement or even a partial replacement, but usually you see a total knee to replace the arthritic knee. So you can see that the damages stemming from an exacerbation or worsening of an underlying condition can be major. I mean, a total knee replacement, I've seen those bills of $100,000 or more. So if you don't get a lawyer in soon enough, you could sign away your rights with the insurance company forever. You'll never be compensated for your medical bills or any other damages that are associated with your injury.